I remember this time in college when I went hiking in the middle of winter. It was brutally cold outside. The wind chill was well below zero, and after about an hour of hiking, I came back to my car to find a 2 or 3 week old yellow lab puppy shivering under my engine trying to stay warm. It took some time, but I coaxed her out and gave her some food and warmed her up and sent her to live with some friends of mine where she proceeded to destroy just about everything they owned. But it was about 8 years after that that God took me back to that moment. Only this time I was the puppy. And God was trying to coax me out and draw me close to Him. He stood there with His hand outstretched to me, and He said, "It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you. Come on." But you see, I'd been hurt too many times by hands like that. I didn't know what that hand was going to ask of me, and I had nothing more to give. I didn't know if that hand was going to hurt me, if it was going to take from me, or what it was going to do to me. And I'd been hurt so many times by hands that I had trusted, by hands that I thought were good, and there was no chance I was going to get close to this hand this time around. God continued to call to me. And every time He would call, He would get lower and lower and lower to the ground, His hand still outstretched. I would inch closer and inch closer, but I still wouldn't come and see what was in that hand of His. Before I knew it, He'd gotten so low that God was laying on His stomach on the ground with His hand still outstretched. I was really curious, but I still wouldn't come and look inside. Until the God of the universe, the maker of heaven and earth, did something I completely didn't expect. He rolled over onto His back with His hand still outstretched, and He made Himself completely vulnerable to me. You see, in that position, I could have hurt Him. At the very least, I could have run away before He could do anything to me. At this point, I was finally able to draw near. And when I looked inside His hand, it wasn't a taking hand at all. It didn't want to hurt me. You see, in that hand was life, in that hand was goodness. In that hand was love, was peace, was everything I'd been looking for, was a home. Before I could even get over the shock of what had just happened, God picked me up and He said, "Matthew, I want to show you something." And He took me from that place and He took me to the cross. He said, "Matthew, look, this is not the first time that I made myself vulnerable to you so that you would draw near." As the tears began to flow, I suddenly realized I was safe. I was loved. I was home.